Hi, and welcome to the Ghost Warrior Society's YouTube channel. This week we're going to do something a little different, and we are going to go over some of the characteristics of Pretendians. How to spot Pretendians in your circles, in your everyday life. So overall, all of these characteristics revolve around three words, and those three words are resistance to authentication. When we're trying to authenticate somebody new who's coming into our spaces, we need to be asking questions. And asking questions is normal, and it's encouraged, and it's a good practice. But sometimes when you run into a Pretendian or somebody you're not familiar with, it's okay to ask those questions, but sometimes you get a reaction from them. And we are going to talk about some of these reactions. The first one is defensiveness. If I'm meeting somebody new, I'm saying, hey, where are you from? And they get defensive right away, that's a warning sign. That's a big red flag, because when we're forming new relationships, we should be open and honest about who we are, where we come from, how we hold our First Nations and Métis Inuit space. Defensiveness is not good. It's a warning sign. A second red flag is to have a short, vague biography. If I'm asking somebody, hey, where are you from? Oh, I hail from Mohawk territory. That's very vague. That's not really, naming a nation, or that's not naming a community. Mohawks are actually many communities. So when somebody refuses to give you any detail and they're just saying, I'm Métis, that could mean many things from many places. So if they're vague and they refuse to get more specific, that's a warning sign. Another one is name dropping. Sometimes when I meet somebody and I'm attempting to authenticate them or just figure out who they are, they just totally ignore the question, and then they start to name off all these people that they know. And that's a little unexpected, strange, and it's their way of trying to authenticate themselves by being in proximity to other First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. They're saying that, hey, I'm hanging out with these people, therefore I am also like them. But don't fall for that, because name dropping, that's not really a good way to get to know people, unless you're saying, this is my family. My family is, and then they start to name off their family members. But if they're saying, like, name dropping, like, I don't know, I know a hockey player or a model or some Indigenous influencer, that's a bit of a red flag. And the final one we're going to look at tonight is they tend to collect First Nations, Métis, and Inuit friends on their social media as a means of establishing credibility. For instance, you get a friend request from somebody, and suddenly you have 200 and some mutual friends, but you don't really know this person. But what this person is attempting to do is they're attempting to authenticate themselves by being in proximity to other First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. So if you feel like you are being used as a collectible playing card, chances are that you are. So if you don't know that person, please establish some criteria as to how you're going to accept new friends. And don't just be accepting friend requests just because they seem to have a lot of common friends. I've actually fallen victim to that a few times, and now I'm a little bit more discerning about who I accept as a friend on my social media. So just be aware of that. And this is only a partial list, a very, very tiny little portion of a huge list that we have amassed over the past few years in our investigations and research of Pretendians. So if you have a suggestion, or you want something, or if you have experienced something that you want to add to the list, by all means, drop it in the comments below. And we look forward to hearing from you on our next video. So see you next week.